Hello, apparently I should be live now. So this is the first time that I've actually done anything live on YouTube because it is a relatively new feature. And pretty much what I'm going to be doing is what you normally see me do, except this is with viewer interaction. And of course this will be recorded for those of you who missed it, which is probably going to be several of you. But that's going to be just fine, because it's recorded. So I will be doing some live interaction though as people come on, so do expect some differences from what you normally hear. And of course the quality will not be the super ultra pristine thing that you're used to seeing because it is done live, and definitely live streaming has some limitations. And really this is what I consider purely test stuff. I don't really consider this super official or anything like that. But I will do what I can to put on the kind of show that I normally do. So right here I've just started a game of Binding of Isaac, which is a game that some of you may be familiar with, and it can be a very challenging game. This game is somewhat of a similar to Dungeons of Dreadmore in a few ways, but it is not super similar. It is quite different in many respects. The only real thing it really has in common is it's really hard, and you die a lot, and it's permanent death. So, as a result, I'm going to be dying a lot, which is really quite normal. I would expect this to happen many times, especially since I'm quite rusty at this game. I have gotten Golden God in this game, which means that I have played this a lot. I've logged over 100 hours on this game, I think. I'm not entirely sure if that's actually the case. Ah, I see somebody came on here. Hello. Yep, this is indeed live. And I definitely encourage any comments, live comments, because that means I interact with you, the viewer. And I definitely want to get to know you guys and answer your questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and I will do my best to answer them if I'm able to. I do hear from other people who have been live streaming with this YouTube thing that there may be a bit of delay in the comments, so if that's the case, you may have to wait a little bit before I answer, because apparently there is supposed to be a delay. So yep, since you're just joining me, whoever you may be, this is The Binding of Isaac, and it is indeed a very fun game, albeit very frustrating at times. And of course, since this is live, do expect some differences from what you normally see. Oh, hello, Bizarro13. It has been an extremely long time, but it's good to see you. I would like to know if this is actually up to any quality standards, because I really didn't have much to know in the way of how this actually looks. The Wiggle Worm is kind of an iffy power-up. It has some advantages because you do shoot your tears faster by a decent amount, but you do lose some accuracy, and that can be a problem. Well, I think I'm done this floor, so I'm going to keep moving on and get to the next floor. So yeah, again, if there are any quality problems, do let me know, and I will do what I can to address them, because this is largely a test, so I would be happy to solve any problems that there may be going on. So unfortunately, the YouTube live test is not so good right now. It's really hard to see what's actually going on when you actually try and stream. So this Duke of Flies boss is not really difficult at all. In fact, it was kind of embarrassing that I got hit there, because it's really easy not to get hit at all. It's really an easy boss, with maybe the exception of one of his versions that you get, because each boss has a version, and some of these versions can be a little terrible in that they're really horrific and hard. but the vast majority of Duke of Fly's versions are quite easy. And that was just a regular version, so he was a pushover. So this is a pill, and pills are... they're very random. You don't know what you're gonna get. It's very risky to actually use a pill when you're not playing as Cain. And Cain is one of the best characters in the game, but I'm not playing him currently. And I got luck down, which is not a good thing to happen. Pills can really hurt you. It's definitely a gamble, like many things are in this game. And yes, for those of you who are newer to Binding of Isaac or have never seen it played before, it is a rather strange game. I can't even begin to explain to you what is actually happening on screen. It is a very bizarre game. It's very, very strange. And I really wouldn't think too deeply into it, because it's a very strange game, to say the least. And these are rooms you can go and you take damage, take half heart damage when you go in these rooms. Usually not worth it, but in this case, I actually got something out of it. This is actually a very good power-up, the Pact. I guess the idea is that you're supposed to be making a pact with the devil or something. This game has a lot of strange religion themes that don't actually have anything connected to them whatsoever. It's kind of strange. Not really sure what that's about. But Edmund McMillen, I believe, is one of the main developers for this game, and he has a history of making really bizarre, strange games that don't really have any sense at all. Like, they just don't make any sense. It's very strange stuff. You may know Edmund McMillen's games. Probably heard of Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is one of the more famous ones. I'm pretty sure most people on the internet have heard of that. And I may actually stream that someday, but we'll see. I'm not really a big fan of those types of games doing any real footage of them, but if I happen to get it would be nice. I'm actually doing pretty well. Mind you, I'm actually having quite a lucky streak so far. Usually, things can go a lot more horribly in this game, so far it's actually quite ideal. Even better, got Roid Rage, which speeds me up, and my range attack, so definitely a very good start early on into this game. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if I can actually beat the game with this character right now. It's definitely possible with the way it's actually going. It's extremely good. So I'm very pleased by this. Of course, everything can go horribly wrong, and I can die within the next minute if I screw things up. If you're careless for about a moment, it can all go downhill. Yeah, Bizarro13 was saying that this game is rather frustrating, and he would rather watch it than actually play it, and I would definitely agree in some cases. This is one of these games that I played a ludicrous amount of near the start. Like when I bought this game, I played this game a lot, and then I kind of stopped for a while because I started to get pretty frustrated with all the random stuff that happens in the game. Because you can't really rely on much in this game. Like, there's so many random things that could take place that can completely screw you over. So you really have to have a really high endurance level for that kind of thing. Because this game can completely kick your ass just because you get really bad luck. And that can definitely be something that could detract somebody from actually enjoying this game. But I would definitely agree, it is very enjoyable to actually watch for the most part. I mean, of course, if the person's an idiot and doesn't know anything about the game, it's probably not enjoyable to watch, but thankfully I have a lot of experience with this, so I am actually capable to an extent. Now, this is the Anarchist Cookbook. Not a very good item, and I'm going to use my dice here. This is one of Isaac's unique items, and I'm going to change the item. It's pretty much a random thing. It basically gives you a second chance on what the item's going to be, and this is definitely a much more ideal item. It's not amazing, but it's a lot better than the Anarchist Cookbook, which is a relatively useless item. So I'm very glad that I was able to get a good roll on that. Because essentially that's what you're doing, is you're rolling the dice to get a better outcome. At least that's the idea. Sometimes you get a worse outcome, but... yeah, this is not a good spot. this is one of these areas where you can die easily, because you're getting those stupid little worm things, and those worm things attack very quickly and do enough damage to be a pretty big threat. Now what I could do is I could go back here. I'm gonna check out the shop, because I don't think all floors actually have a shop. I'm pretty sure that it can be random and you don't get one, but there is a shop in this case, and you have to use a key to open it, which is a risk, because you don't necessarily get a lot of keys in this game. Because again, it's so random, but there are a few good deals. That key for 3 cents is pretty good, but that would simply be a reimbursement. So I'd actually just be spending money. It's not very good options here, so I'm gonna pass. There's nothing really I can afford other than the 2 items that are not super stellar, so I'm just gonna keep moving on. I'm gonna fight this boss, and hopefully it will be a good boss. You get some really nasty bosses in the early floors. Chad is easy. Chad shouldn't give me much trouble. He's actually a very easy boss to get this early on. Definitely one of the bosses close to death there. I didn't actually realize I was that low on health. Really gotta pay attention to that stuff. Okay. That went reasonably well. I'm actually quite pleased with that. See, I have another viewer here. It's probably one of my regulars, and I definitely welcome you to this live show. Feel free to ask any questions, and I will do what I can to answer them. If you're actually wondering what the flat penny and the push pin does, I can't even begin to tell you, because I don't remember what any of those trinkets do. Oh no. Now this is a bad room. You don't want this. This is something that can completely ruin my game and kill me. Thankfully I managed to sneak out a victory there. This thing with the corners here is actually a glitch. This is something that Edmund didn't know you could actually do. He never intended it, but when people pointed out that, you could do that, he's like, oh, I didn't think that you could do that. That's a neat glitch, and they decided to keep it in because it's actually kind of cool. It takes a little bit of skill to actually do it. Because of course, if you just run into these spikes and you take damage, because they're spikes. Of course. Now, these fire, you may be wondering why I'm putting out these fire. If you're not familiar with this game, it's because sometimes you get, like, coins and other tiny items. Vast majority of the time, you don't get anything for putting out fire, but since it's right there, and you always have that tiny chance, it's worthwhile to try it out. So this could be bad, in theory, because there's not a lot of room to move, and these guys are definitely tricky. Pretty much one of the worst things you can get in the game, in terms of enemy combinations, is getting those stupid worm things in a really closed-up space, because that can be really easy death. These guys are also jerks too, these, I don't know what you call them, they leech your money. You lose money when you get hit by these jerks. Thankfully I only got hit a couple times, but yeah, those guys will take your money, and it's wrong. It's not right. And I'm glad to hear the stream is actually doing well here, because I was very concerned to the frame rate of this, because in the previews for the software I'm using, didn't look very good. The frame rate looked really iffy, but I wasn't going to take that as gospel, so I did want to try out the stream anyway to see. And for the other person watching me right now, in case you aren't aware, there are some delays on the comments here, the live comments which I get, which tells me what you're saying, of course. So it seems to be a fairly significant delay, unfortunately, so it may be like 5 minutes or so before I actually see your comment, which kind of sucks. But this is in beta. This live stream thing is a beta, so there are expected to be some issues going through this. But I did want to definitely try it out and make what use of it I can. So this poop here, I don't think you can call it golden poop, it's like corn or whatever, it's in that poo, and it's not a very edifying subject, but this game is not very edifying. Usually those things have hearts and coins in them and such, as you probably just saw. Those are always worth breaking, because you typically get stuff out of them. Now this is a bad spot. This is pretty nasty. Oh, nice. It turned out reasonably well, actually. Got myself a nice secret room here, completely by accident, and didn't even have to use a bomb. I'd say that worked out pretty well. Yeah, this is definitely a very lucky run so far. Not really what I expected, but I'll take it. I most certainly will. It's apparently fine on everyone else's end, but definitely knows some issues. It's giving me some statistics that are really wonky. I suppose that's to be expected. This is bad. Ooh. Ah, that was nasty. But I got lucky with the hearts there. The game was very generous with giving me a whole heart. The game, however, may not be so generous here. Because these kind of rooms can be pretty nasty. Both visually and deathly. Wow, my pinky's actually falling asleep here. I'm not really sure what that's about. My pinky finger is actually literally falling asleep. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna have to readjust my arm or something. Well, I can go in here and you can gamble. It's like an arcade. You just slot machines and whatnot and you get items. Not really something I want to do though, because I want to hold on to this money. There could be something very good in that shop, for example, which is much more reliable than using slots. Slots are not necessarily... Well, of course they're... Oh no, got greed instead. So this boss, Greed, is a mini-boss. He's not like an official boss or anything, but he takes your money, like those other jerks. And you don't want to get hit, it's essentially the thing. Doing a decent job at avoiding his attacks. And he's not the other versions. You can get like Super Greed or something, and that guy is, he's a terror. But I got the easy version. Well, easier version. Well, I guess it worked out. I mean, I got more money from it and made a profit, but no shop, because essentially when you get greed, it means you don't get a shop in the floor. So that means less items that I can actually use down the road. When you get to the place called the Womb, you stop getting items, so it can kind of suck. So the Hollow. I recall the Hollow is a pretty easy boss. This is a relatively new, refresher boss to me because I have not fully explored all the content that Wrath of the Lamb has to offer. And apparently that boss was ludicrously easy. I completely decimated it without even really thinking about it, so that's good. You can see the music change here, it's become more epic, I suppose. I don't really like using the word epic anymore. It's a very overused term these days, and it makes me feel uncool saying it sometimes. I mean, I suppose it's alright using that word if, you know, the people actually use it properly, but most people just kind of throw out the word for everything. But I'm just ranting. You know, get off my lawn, kids, and all that. This is seriously an extremely good run. I'm very pleased with this. This has potential. I could really go somewhere with this run. Yeah, this can be a bad spot sometimes, because with all the explosions, you can sometimes get in a really bad situation where you just die horribly from the bombs. But luckily everything worked out to my advantage once again. I'm beating the random luck generation thing this time. I'm beating it to the ground. And having Charm of the Vampire, the power-up, has been quite helpful with keeping my survivability up. X-Chickens. I'm not really familiar with X-Chickens. I'm aware of X-Men, but I don't know of X-Chickens. Is that one of Magneto's horrific insults? That's what it sounds like to me. So these little face things can be pretty tricky. Like most enemies in this game, especially the ones added in Wrath of the Lamb. Very tricky stuff, you really gotta watch out. Those face things, they're actually probably some of my least favorite enemies that they've added to that Wrath of the Lamb expansion. So since I have so much money, I'm going to go with this pill, and I'm going to try my luck. That worked out reasonably well. Got teleported into a treasure room. Can't argue with that. However, I don't know what a spider butt does, and I'm not about to look it up in a live stream, so I'm just gonna stick with my dice and give this a reroll. Not a good reroll. That's a really bad thing to get. That book sucks. I think it's like the Book of Sin or something like that. It's not good. It's bad. Kind of like this room is bad. This is bad. These guys take a lot of hits, and I'm almost out. And these things move. Whoa. Wow. That was close. I need to be careful, but unfortunately I have another nasty room to get through, which I may not survive by the looks of it. It's a little unfortunate. Wow, that worked out really well. Didn't take any hits. I would say I got lucky, because these things can be really, really horrible sometimes. Now, I should be able to handle this area just fine, because there's just a bunch of flies, and with my rapid fire rate, I should be able to take them out without any real issues. The wasps, on the other hand, or bees, or whatever those are another thing entirely. Those can be really nasty in groups like that. Ugh. And the bombs. Not my friends. I actually only have 3 bombs in my inventory, and that's not ideal. Very little bombs to use. Bombs can be really helpful later on in the game. You can blow up doors that are locked with bombs. When I say locked, I mean like when you walk into a room and there's enemies in it, the door closes behind you. You can't get out without using a bomb. So that's what I mean by that. It's good to skip rooms if they're really bad rooms, which many of the rooms are. These things will also take your money. I would say they're worse than the heads on their own. The ones that are hung there are definitely the worst kind in general. Seriously, my whole half of my hand is asleep. That's not good. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not cutting really... Don't really see how I'm cutting off the blood flow at all. Oh, crap. That's not fair. Come on. Come on. I want the... No. I just wanted the chest. So when you die, it tells you what items you had, and it tells you what killed you. At least gives you a picture of it. And then I have to press replay to try again. What I'm going to do instead right now is I'm going to do the challenges. I've done a few of them, as you can see. I'm going to try for Lord of the Flies. I think this challenge is a challenge that just gives you, they grow inside power-up. It's like when you get hit, it gives you flies or something like that. I think that's what it does. They're like kamikaze flies or something like that. I think when you have the power-up, you also move slower because they're bloated or something like that. You got flies inside of you. It's a rather nasty thing. Like I said, this game is very unedifying in terms of visuals. It's also very juvenile in certain ways. It also has a lot of internet memes. You've probably noticed a few of them already, like they got the troll face for some bombs and whatnot. Oh yeah, and I didn't really talk about this mini-boss, but there's not really much to say. He's extremely easy. So I'm gonna try this pill out. Ugh, luck down. Not great, but it's really early into the game, so it's not gonna be a huge deal. Now these different colored rocks, you can get some pretty good stuff from this. You can get some really nice power-ups sometimes, or just some soul hearts. Soul hearts are temporary hearts. Or you get a chest, which you can't open, because they don't have any keys. So in other words, useless. So unless I get a couple keys on this floor, then that's not going to help me at all. And yeah, destroying the regular poo has some good effects. It would be ideal. Wow, that was generous of the game giving me that much money early on. Yeah, destroying the poo can get you like some nice small items, kind of like destroying the fire does. Kind of wish the YouTube live stream actually told you, like, who actually joins. because I had no idea who was actually watching me, other than Bizarro13, so... Yeah, the YouTube Live feature is really neat. I do look forward to using it more. It's a bit unfortunate, though, that I won't be able to stream during, I guess, prime time hours. I can only really do it during the night, and the late night or the early morning or whatever, so... I do have some limited capacity currently when I can actually stream live. Yeah, this first floor is going reasonably well. I can't complain too much. Not really many awful combinations of enemies. It's been relatively generous in supplies. And getting 11 coins, or 11 cents, I mean, this early is pretty nice. 12 cents now, so... I think I'll try my luck on this small chest. These chests are of lower quality, which means you get less in general. But I'm going to try it. Well, that worked out reasonably well. Wasn't an awful chest. So, I suppose what I can also do is go back and open up the other chest, or I can bomb this one and open up this one. Probably gonna save myself some supplies, so I'm just gonna go see the aren't aware of how t-shirts work. And that was a pretty good deal. Got some extra bombs from that. And some extra health if I need it for later. So yeah, it means extra lives will mean that the floors are gonna be significantly longer than the usual. And that is a lot of fire. Wow. Also keep in mind, if you do detect some quality issues, do let me know, but it may just be the game itself, because this is a Flash game, and Flash games are not amazing to run. They have some issues, and this particular Flash game most certainly has some frame rate issues, particularly when there's a lot of stuff on screen. So, if there's a lot of stuff on screen and you're seeing some frame rate drops, then that's just the game, not my actual stream. So far, most of what I'm seeing on this floor is just fire. I guess I can't complain. I mean, it's not like you get experience for killing enemies or anything like that. Just want to try my luck on this discolored rock. That went good. I'll take that soul heart. Thank you very much. So, I'm not going to bother with any of that poo. I'm not going to waste any bombs on any of those rocks, because poo is not valuable enough to actually destroy. And it's amazing to actually get to say that in a sentence. Only in this game. Only in Binding of Isaac does poo actually legitimately come up in a conversation. Should I try my luck? I'm going to try my luck. It's been good so far. I'm going to press the point and see what I find. Well, I'm not really sure what's better, Mom's Pearl or Isaac's Fork. It's definitely a nice thing to get from a chest, though. You rarely get a trinket from a low-quality chest, but... I think I'm going to try Mom's Pearl and go with that. I think Isaac's Fork might be the one that gives you a little bit of health increase, like a vampire effect, but... I think Mom's Pearl actually might do some stunning for me every now and then with my tears, which would be better than what I was using before. I take stunning over a little bit extra health every now and then. And in case you're wondering, that card I picked up near the start of this floor is the Chariot. The Chariot card is just simply a unicorn thing. You have a unicorn thing on your head when you use it, and you become invincible for a temporary amount of time, and you do damage to people. I'll probably use it at some point, so you'll be able to see it then. This is another trinket. I'm getting an unusual amount of trinkets on one floor. And I think this one just does something for keys, maybe increases the amount of times you see keys or something. I'll stick with Mom's Pearl. After all, I did waste a bomb on it, so I may as well actually make use of it. I'm pretty sure it's not a useless key, so... Or, not trinket, sorry. Oops. And I wasted a bomb like an idiot. That's what happens when you're out of practice. What I will do, however, is I will waste another bomb, just so I can get this key and open the door. I'll take this. This is a treasure map, and if I recall correctly, the treasure map is what lets you see secret rooms on every floor. I think. Hopefully that's actually what it does. Yes, that is what it does. So, you can see here, I have a secret room. It tells me exactly where it is to bomb, which is really nice. If I actually had bombs, which I would have if I didn't waste one. Silly, silly me. But what I will do is move on. This is a double boss thing happening here. From what the map's telling me, there is another boss after this one, which could probably kill me. I'm gonna try my luck. Use this power-up. Of course, the jerk runs away, which is really bad. It's not ideal at all. Because I kind of wasted a bit of that power-up when the idiot ran away. I believe the boss was called Famine, I don't know, I kind of inherently skip these, so I pretty much don't even think about it anymore. I just mostly skip the little boss cards. And yes, hello Johnny and Hydrus. I've never been able to know how to pronounce your name, but it's nice to see you. You're a great supporter and I appreciate you coming on to listen to me randomly play this game live. At least I got an easy boss. Larry Jr. is a really big pushover. There's only been a couple times that I really have died from him, and that's mostly from really, really awful luck where he just kept running into me when I didn't expect it. But for the most part, Larry Jr. is a pushover. It kind of sucks though having to fight 2 bosses in a row, but that unicorn power-up thing really saved me. It's been a decent first floor, albeit a very long one. And again, my hand is falling asleep. I don't know what is causing that. But it's horribly distracting. It really, really is. And I'm putting all my concentration right now, deeply, deeply, into fighting this boss. It looks like that paid off for me. This is a box. I'm pretty sure these give you a bunch of random crappy items. Yes, they do. A missing page. I don't remember what that does. Don't really care. The Empress, I think, is the one where they do the big stomp, and yeah, they do the big, it's like a big stomp power-up and it randomly hits an enemy. It does a lot of damage. Good on bosses if you can actually hit them with it. Why, yes, I will use a luck down pill. No, I won't. That was sarcasm. Okay, I'm going to... I think I will... No, I won't. I'll just keep going. I'm just thinking I was going to do the secret room there and get that, but I decided against it. So, thankfully, having this treasure map saves me a ton of effort here. It actually gives me an idea of exactly what I have on the floor here. That way I can plan ahead and avoid some potentially horrendous encounters. I don't have enough money to really make going in that shop actually worthwhile, so I'm just gonna ignore it for now. And I don't think... Sometimes when you blow up these rocks, you can make a path, and it'll let you walk across, but I don't think this will work. Not in this case. So I'm just gonna go for the secret room. Oh hey, it did work. I didn't mean to actually blow up the rock, but I guess it was just barely inside its explosive radius. That actually paid off handsomely. I will take that money, thank you very much. Unfortunately, the secret room is a complete crap hole. Slot machine is not going to help me at all here, and I'm going to hold on to my bombs. Sometimes when you blow up the slot machines, you can get some reasonably good items out of them, but I'm not going to waste a bomb because I actually need to hold on to these for later on if I actually live that far. Now, this is a stupidly easy room. I use my range to my advantage to take out this jerk. There we go. That worked well. Now these are kind of challenge rooms. I can't remember exactly what they call them, like officially, but these are rooms where if you're at full health, you're allowed to enter them, and by entering them, you go into a miniature challenge. And the challenges get harder the further the floors you go down. And in this case, the reward is most likely not going to be worth it. It only starts when you actually open up the chest and you get locked in. Since it's a low-quality chest, the chances of actually having a good item out of that is going to be really low, so I'm not even going to bother. If it was a golden chest, I probably would have considered it, but not then. Now, these are spiders. I haven't really touched on them yet, but they're a new addition to Wrath of the Lamb. Really nasty things. Like, spiders in large groups can be just awful. Like, some of the worst things. They're definitely one of my least favorite additions, because I just find them very erratic and almost impossible to predict. So, I'm not a fan of that addition. This expansion for this game is kind of meh. It adds some good stuff, and then other stuff is not so great. It's really iffy. Like, I'm not gonna outright say it's horrendous or horrible, because I think that's kind of hyperbole, but it does have some pretty big issues. A flat penny again? Why do I see that thing over and over again? Ridiculous. And yes, the power-up tune is pretty fitting, I suppose. I'm not really... I didn't really... And probably one of the more fresh perspectives people have is commenting on how absolutely disgusting this game is, which is something that I don't normally think about either, because I've just played this game for so long. I'm doing pretty well, though, actually, skill-wise. I thought I would suck a lot more, but I'm actually holding my own quite well. So I am quite pleased by that. Actually, probably might be my... Nah, I won't. I was thinking of going back and picking up in the heart. I might have a half heart to pick up, but no, I don't think that would be a waste of time. I'm not going to do that. I only do that if I actually have to. For all I know, what hearts are actually... I passed by are full hearts anyway, so I'm not going to waste a heart on when I only have half down. If that made any sense to you. Sometimes these things aren't going to make sense. The thing about doing these things live, doing live streams, is that you're sometimes going to hear some retarded things come out of my mouth that I would never say. Ouch, that's nasty. That did not go well. You're going to hear some retarded things that I would never say in any of my actual videos. So that's probably one of the biggest differences you would ever hear in these live streams, is that I'm going to say some dumb stuff sometimes, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So I could go in that shop and try my luck and see if there's something there, but I really don't think there's going to be, because 7 cents is not a lot of spending money. So I think I'm just going to continue on. I'll wait until I have like 12 cents maybe. I think that would be a good point. Okay, the Husk. I'm not too familiar with him. I haven't fought him very much. He seems pretty easy, though. Just your standard boss that bounces off walls. Spits out some crap. I think I'll use the Empress card. Oh no, it did something different. That works, though. It kills the boss faster, but... should have used it to start then, but oh well. Yeah, I was under the impression the Empress card was the one that did, like, Mom's foot coming down, but I guess not. I was mistaken. These things happen. One other difference is you may hear me drinking water sometimes, because this is live, and I can't cut that out. Can be very intense doing commentary for a reasonable length of time. You get dry pretty quick. Gotta use some water every now and then. So this is like a fortune teller machine. I'm not entirely sure what these do. I know they give you trinkets sometimes. I can't remember what happens if you blow it up. I'm going to assume you get money or something. Maybe a trinket by a very low chance, but I already have a trinket. I don't need any more. So I'm just gonna continue on. I can also try my luck in this death room. I'm not going to, though, because these things usually suck. So I'm just gonna keep killing things and trying to actually survive this horrific nightmare. Or is it a nightmare? There never really was. This game has very little story, so... and what story does have to go on is extremely confusing at that, so... there's not really even worth talking about for the most part. It could be a dream. It could be a hallucination. could be something else entirely. You just don't know. What you do know, however, is that these baby things are horrifically demented, and yeah, they're a thing. They are most certainly a thing. Yeah, it's definitely the biggest con so far with this YouTube Live thing is clearly the live comment thing is horrifically slow. Like, it is really slow. Like, the delay seems to be like 5 minutes. Maybe even longer than that. I'm sure that will improve. But for now, it's kind of sucky. But thankfully, as I mentioned near the start of the stream, this is all archived, so anything that you missed, or if you want to watch it again for whatever reason, that option should be available to you. I hear that part, the actual archiving, directly onto the YouTube channel, I hear that works pretty well. Hopefully it will in my case, that would be great, because I would like to keep this archived and for, you know, people to watch it after the fact, because it's essentially a walkthrough like any other that I do, except it's live, so. Yeah, people most certainly suck at Binding of Isaac. Most people are really, really terrible at it. And I'm not making any claims that I'm some masterful player or anything, but I would say I'm better than most people. At least the ones I've seen trying to play this game on YouTube before I promptly close their video and go elsewhere. I have a lot of experience, which is what helps. I am out of practice, though it doesn't seem to be showing, but I am very out of practice. And, so I can't vouch for my skills too much right now, but I have gotten Golden God before the expansion was released, so I do have Golden God. I did 100% the game, but now I haven't anymore because of the expansion. I think the achievement for that is Platinum God or something, but I might get that someday, but we'll see. So I got a righteous thing, I don't know what they call it, it's like a white heart thing. And what happens is, if you get 2 of them, then you get a full heart container. Or if you just finish the level, like you beat the floor, then and you don't get hit, then you get a full heart that way as well. It actually would have been in my best interest to not actually have picked that up. If I had waited until I killed the boss and then went back and got down the floor, I would have had a full heart. And I should remember that for future times that I get them, because it's not really in your best interest to get them early. You want to wait until you're ready to finish the floor, because a free heart is a really big deal in this game. And I'm probably going to get hit and lose that opportunity, so that's how you cheese it. Now these guys are kind of annoying. I haven't touched on them, but I think this is the first time that we've seen them in this, and they're a little tricky sometimes, but they're pretty easy in that case. Those things, if you hit them, they don't pop out. You have to wait until they pop out and then hit them, because that's their gimmick. They can be pretty annoying in some areas, but these kind of setups are quite easy, because you can just do the run around with them like this, go in a circle, and you pretty much don't get hit. This will be pretty tricky though, because those stupid fly dudes are making it hard for me to actually hit them because they're shooting them out at a ridiculous rate. The objective here is actually hit them. I don't want to hit the other guy. I want to hit you and not get hit at the same time. I'm gonna bomb. I can't actually hit these jerks. There we go. That was worse than it looked. Man, okay. There we go. That's better. So, gluttony, another one of the 7 deadly sins, apparently. Gluttony is pretty easy. You can see it's quite predictable. He was gonna do his extra attack there, he has like 2 attacks, he was gonna do a second one, but I didn't let him. He had no time. Completely schooled you, Gluttony. And also, it was nice to get the heart, that was a good one. So, these guys haven't talked about them yet, other than that they're really disgusting. Essentially, what you want to do with them is not get hit for one thing, and you want to make them dematerialize and get in a mushy paste, and then when they're a mushy paste, you take them out that way. Saves a lot of effort. It's the only way you can kill them, so... I want to try this shop. And of course, I don't have enough money to get anything useful. Kinda sucks. I'm gonna move on then. Yeah, so far this floor hasn't been too great. I've managed to stay alive alright, but I haven't really had much in the way of damage increase. I don't think I've had anything that's really helping me there. I did get the nice extra survivability, some nice couple... I got, like, maybe 1 heart container on this floor? I don't know. It's hard to remember what happened 5 minutes ago, so... Okay, I'm ready for the boss now. I've pretty much covered this whole floor. This, strangely enough... Wait, no, I didn't do the secret room yet. But it tells me it's a slot machine. Maybe I did go in here and I forgot. I think I did. Yeah, I'm not gonna even try. Just gonna go straight to the boss. So this is Gurdy. Gurdy is really good on newbies. Pretty much Gurdy will destroy a newbie of this game. Soul Heart. I wasn't aware that you get soul hearts in this fight. Is that a new thing? It's very weird. Yeah, I'm getting hit and that sucks. I'm not doing well here. I need to actually play better and pay attention. No, that's not how you do it. Okay, I remember this. There we go. That's it. You get in this little corner here. Hit him that way. And not get hit at the same time. Oh, wow. Keeping meat kind of saved me there. Yeah, I'm not doing great at this fight. But yeah, like I was saying, Gurdy is typically a lot of newbies of this game suffer at Gurdy and usually die to him. I can understand why. I remember when I first got this game, I thought Gurdy was like an insurmountable obstacle, like, oh man, how am I ever gonna beat this guy? But once you know the trick, which is what I've been doing somewhat unsuccessfully, once you know the trick, he's pretty easy. However, he does have a very low margin of error. Like, essentially the thing is that he has so much health that you can screw up too many times. And when I don't have a lot of damage power-ups or gear power-ups, he's taken forever to kill. Which is what you're seeing now. That's why he's taking so long. The guy has too much health. So if you just don't have anything good for power-ups, then it's an uphill battle. And unfortunately took way more damage than I should have. But I am managing to salvage it at least. The only thing left is to take out the trash here. Yeah, like, it's taking forever just to take out that one thing. It's very indicative. I totally butchered that word. It's very poor damage is what I'm saying. Well, at least I finally got something that gave me more tears. So that's gonna help me out. The Oh the Fool card, if I recall correctly, just brings you back to your starting position. Pretty sure that's what it does. That can be useful in like a couple spots in the game. But I don't think I'll hold on to it if I get anything else, because otherwise the card's pretty useless. So, I think at this point, I'm ready to head on over to the next floor. So I'm nearing the end of the game, relatively nearing. Got like 4 more floors to go. I don't know if it's that nearing, but sometimes these floors can be pretty short too, so I guess it's pretty subjective. Yeah, I'll take the unicorn. The unicorn thing, this power-up works exactly the same as the card that you may have seen earlier. It's the exact same principle. I think another thing about live streaming that I really like about it is the fact that I can make a lot of content for my channel without like a tremendous Herculean effort. Like, I think I've been going for like an hour, maybe 50 minutes. They've been going for roughly 50 minutes. And, that's a lot of content. That is, for people, even if people aren't watching it live, which so far not many people are, but that's fine, because it's the first time I'm doing it, and it's late. But, like, it's a great aspect, is that I already have, like, 50 minutes of content. That's actually, I think, pretty good content so far. Like, 50 minutes, so, like, you know, anyone else who watches my channel is, like, they can get 50 minutes of content. So that's a very nice feature, and that's probably one of the things I like the most, other than interacting with people, is being able to make that content, and have it archived, and have people enjoy it after the fact. So I should probably focus on the things actually making the flies, as opposed to just shooting the flies all the time. I think that's the effective way to beat these guys. Giving myself a bit of a pep talk there. And yeah, I'm not sure if I will, that for the next time I do a live stream, which I have no idea when that's going to be. But for the next time I do a live stream, I'm not sure if I'm going to do Binding of Isaac for the next stream. I might try another game for a little bit, just for archival purposes. So that if people search a video on YouTube, it can still be, like, you know, X game walkthrough part whatever type thing. It's still the same type of format. Just wanna keep it accessible to people who are not actually watching the live stream and seeing the archive. So for that reason, I just want to stick to one game and not, like, do, like, 2 or 3 games. Which is one of the changes, I suppose, from a lot of live streaming, is people are going to want to keep it more focused. Whereas on Twitch.tv or whatever, you can, you know, just change the game up whenever, without much issue at all. Now, this is a pretty bad room. Not a lot of room to move. I'm getting boxed in. And these things do a pretty good amount of damage. So you really have to be careful. Like that. That was not careful. That was me running into things like an idiot. You don't want to run into the bombs, because they're bad. They're very bad. Bombs do a lot of damage. I think they take 1 heart each time, no matter however close you are to it. This is awful. I could die here. This is not looking good. Not good. Like, with these stupid I can't- No! Oh. Ow. That did not go as planned. Of course it didn't. I mean, nobody plans to die. It's just not how it works. I'm gonna try another thing. I'm gonna try something else. Let me try a character here. I'm not gonna do a challenge, but I don't think I've beaten Judas with the Wrath of the Lamb content. I'm kind of going for achievements here, is essentially what I'm doing. I'm gonna go with Judas here and see how far I can get. Judas is kind of an interesting character. He starts with 1 heart, and he does a significant amount of damage. He's an extremely powerful character in that sense. He's what you would call a glass cannon. He's made out of glass in essence because he has 1 heart, so he doesn't really take much damage, but he sure hits like a truck. And he also starts with 3 cents and a hat. I'm not sure what the hat's about, but I get the 3 cents. It's the 3 pieces of silver thing, but yeah, I'm not really sure what the hat's about. Ooh, yeah, the live comments for this are extremely delayed. That is significantly delayed. Because I only just got, somebody talked about the unicorn just now. So, and that was like 10 minutes ago, probably. Crack the sky. I don't think this is a very good power-up. The one thing about Judas, which is kind of a good and bad thing, is that the Book of Belial that he starts with is ludicrously powerful and one of the best power-ups in the game. So it's very rare to actually find something that is better than it. So you end up passing on a lot more items because of it. It's kind of a good and bad thing. That's an extremely short floor. Okay. I'm probably gonna die here, because I got hit earlier and there's no health increase available. If I get hit once, it's over. But Judas might just save me because he does so much damage. Ooh, that was close. Nope, nope. Ate yourself. Oh, wow. That went better than I expected. That was really, really close. Okay, I managed to salvage that. Barely. Oh, you spiders. Ugh. I was gonna say spiders aren't so bad in the open, but I guess that kind of didn't work out as I expected. I could trade a bomb for a key. I don't know if that's worth it. I'm gonna just... Oh yeah, there's this thing. I don't know if I've covered this yet, but if you walk in this, you take damage, and if you walk in it enough, you get an item. And I think the items usually suck, and I mostly hear from people that it's horrible. It is really random though, but it's a major gamble, because health is one of the most valuable things in this game. So it's usually not worth doing, or even considering at all. I think I'm dead. Because if I blow these guys up, they're probably gonna take me with them. It's really hard to stay away from these. I'll try Judas again. And yes, apologies on the mouse cursor. I probably should have mentioned that at the start of the stream here, but the mouse cursor is there because the thing I'm using, the software, it doesn't hide the mouse cursor, which is one thing that kind of ticks me off. And I use the mouse to aim, usually when I'm playing this game. I'm okay doing the arrow keys, like I can play with the arrow keys. And sometimes I can be more comfortable, but with my current live stream setup here and the way my microphone stand is, using the arrow keys is going to be horrifically uncomfortable, so I'm going to stick with the mouse. That's just one of the evils that you'll have to put up with, I suppose. Which is not something I wish you didn't have to put up with, but it's really out of my control. Wow, that was lucky. And if you're wondering what that blue stuff is, that's the holy water. The holy water pretty much sucks. It's a really bad item. Don't recommend it. You know, I mean, if you pick it up, you know, it's no harm done picking it up. So this is an extremely rare item that you only find in secret rooms. You pretty much know what is it. If you're a gamer, which people watching are, this is a 1-up mushroom, and you know what these do. And in this game, it does the same thing, which is if you die, you get an extra life, which is extremely awesome thing. It's a second chance, and that's just amazing. I rarely see that item. That item is super, super rare. So it's really great to see that. Alright, now, I do have the 1-up, but I wish I didn't have to use it so early though, because I might get hit. That's the thing about Judas, is getting hit is a very, very bad thing. Extremely unforgiving playstyle with Judas. Thankfully, the Book of Belial destroys all. And yeah, My Little Pony, I don't know if you could call it a meme. My Little Pony is, I don't know, it's more like a cultural, internet culture type thing. I don't think you could really consider it a meme, because memes usually have, like, a specific identifier. Oh, crap, it's okay again. A specific identifier, like, kind of like with troll face, like a specific thing, like, you look at it and you know what it is, and it's everywhere, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's a meme. I'm pretty sure that memes are pretty specific in what they're supposed to be. So I don't really think that My Little Pony would be a meme at all. Binding of Isaac is most certainly filled with memes, though, and if you know a bit more about me... Oh, Skype. I don't want you coming up again. Apologies for that, folks. I had forgotten I had that thing on. Now, okay. Usually I don't forget that stuff. That's usually like the first thing that I check. And that did not work out well. Okay, I'm going to try another character. I think I already beat it as Cain. Eve is horrifically awful, but I'll have to try her at some point again. Here's Samson's pretty awful too, but I'll give Samson another go here. Some people really like Samson. He's a new addition to the Wrath of the Lamb expansion. Samson can be really terrible. Like, I've had some bad experiences with him, but since I'm pretty much going for achievements in this game, it's one of the very few games I actually like having achievements for. I actually go for the achievements, which is so rare. But I like getting them, so in order to actually 100% this game, you have to do everything with all the characters. Even if they suck horribly. Like Samson probably does. At least so far, this first floor is not giving me too much grief. It's been fairly reasonable. In case you're wondering what these different colored enemies are, the different colored enemies just mean they are powered up. So they're harder than the normal ones. I can't remember what that turquoise color means. I don't know if you could call that green. It's kind of green, but at the same time it looks kind of blue, which is why I say turquoise, but that's entirely up to your interpretation. Feel free to call out what color you think that is, but I'm thinking turquoise. I'm not sure what turquoise actually does. I think it might not. That's not more health. More health, I think, is like the red color. I don't know. My memory's kind of fuzzy on that right now. Having a soul heart. I actually didn't even notice I had that soul heart. Getting a soul heart earlier on is nice when I always start with the one heart. Definitely a good thing to get in the first floor when it's really the game gets quite unforgiving so early. And yes, another thing I didn't touch on, but it's probably fairly obvious, is that in the babies, they shoot tears, and it comes from their eyes, of course. Not everyone notices that right off the bat, but that's what those things are. Good old tears. They're always so sad. So this is Mom's pad. It's pretty disgusting, especially when you actually think about what it's supposed to be. I think it's pretty obvious. Mom's pad is... I think it's the one that does the stunning, and that's a really good item. A pretty great item to get early on into the game. Can save a lot of trouble. I think it also works on the bosses too, so it's definitely pretty helpful stuff. I'm gonna actually try it here. That is what it does, it freezes them. Definitely a good thing to have when you're fighting this boss. He's pretty much like your Bomberman. It's essentially, this is like a play on Bomberman games, if you're familiar with them. I'm only vaguely familiar, I've never actually played a Bomberman game. But I have seen them, I've watched them before, and they look pretty boring to me, but it's alright in this game. Works out pretty well. That boss though, Wrath, can be pretty awful at times. Particularly if you get the super version of him. That's pretty much a death sentence, I'd say in most cases. You know, all this time, my hand is still falling asleep sometimes. It's a mystery. I don't know what could be causing it. It's not like I have, like, a weighted pillow or something on my arm. I'm not putting any particular significant pressure on it. So it is a mystery to me as to why it keeps doing that. You may come to your own conclusions on theories if you wish, though, but they're probably wrong, but you can think as to what that actually is. I actually forgot to get this poo here. I'm gonna do that. I did get a coin out of it, which is definitely nice. Oh, wow. Some pretty good luck. Getting a nickel out of poo is, an extremely unlikely thing to happen, but that's exactly why I do that. It's a perfect example. In fact, I may even be able to get something out of the shop. But everything may be 15 cents again. So I could just be being foolish here. I think I'm going to hold on to my money, and I'm going to try in the second floor, and hope to get some more then. I'm going to only go in a shop if I get 15 cents this time. That's going to be my rule for now, because I'm not feeling it with going any lower. Now, with this color here, this would indicate the Duke of Flies has more health, I think. I'm pretty sure this is the more health one. Either that or more damage. It's one of those. Maybe it's increased speed. He does seem to be pushing out those flies at a more rapid rate. Could be wrong. I have no idea. I can't remember. My apologies. I can always look it up later, I suppose, and next time I play this game I can inform you, or you can look it up yourself. Whichever you prefer. Well, that worked out reasonably well. Didn't get hit a single time. I am pleased with his outcome. Oh! How cruel. I wasn't paying attention. I looked somewhere else. I have to remember not to do that. Oh, wow. That was cruel, game. That was cruel. At least it was in Basement 1, though. That was really mean. Ugh. Oh, wow. You know what? I actually think that is a good stopping point. I streamed for about a bit over an hour now. I think that's good for now. I was planning to go for a couple, but my neck is starting to get sore. So, I hope you enjoyed.